Well, it is Saturday morning, and this is a refill, by the way. Yeah, I've been up for a while, but I haven't done anything here. My plan is to try and get the rest of this stuff all assembled, and the underside of these things here painted. Yeah, see what we can do. Now, it had been my thought to completely assemble these and then repaint the bottom, but that would mean that I would be handling them a lot more. So I'm now thinking that the best idea would be to paint the bottoms first, let them dry, and then assemble the rest of the parts here. And in that way, I'm not going to be handling the piece and making the sides, with a nice flat gray here, make them shiny. I don't want them shiny, even though maybe in real life they were. So the less I handle them, the better. Now my plan is to use the blue tack here to hold them just right side up. I was thinking of just holding it in my fingers like this and then painting everything. I guess that might have worked. Actually, now that I'm trying it, maybe that's good enough. Because if I stick it on here, how do I get them off without touching the sides where it's probably wet? I suppose I could use these special tweezers with the heat shrink covering. Yeah, that'd pull them off. Yeah, I could do that. Now, I already did shake this a few minutes ago in the paint shaker, but we'll just give it a little shake here. And we'll see what happens. Now, I don't need to paint this part here. That's going down in a hole in the deck, and then this bottom of this flange is going to be covered. So I only need to paint like right in here and the bottom. And this should actually go fairly easy. I don't even have to do a real good job, although I don't want to make a big mess either. I only want to be painting what is going to be visible if you happen to look at the right angle, which is pretty unlikely actually, because you're going to be viewing this thing mostly from the top. Okay, now all around the edges here, it should have been caught pretty good by the airbrush yesterday. So, all right, I'll just do that 7 more times and wait about an hour, and then I can. Oh, we were going to try our. Let's see here. Now this is actually the first time I'm using these for something that's practical. And we'll just grab a hold of it here, pull it off, set it down. There we go. Once again, thank you, Tony. Okay, I'm all finished here now. And I got these mixed up. If you remember, 4 of them were a number 1, which I know these are because I can see the 1 coming through from the bottom. But I got these mixed up, and I thought, no, how am I going to tell the difference? And I've noticed that if you look, this is the other number 1, by the way. You notice on the corners right there, it's more rounded. And yeah, that's the difference. Okay, so this is number 1. Now we'll just let that dry and start putting them together. Earlier this morning I was looking in my surveillance monitor and I saw that there was a little rabbit at the carrot pile. And what it would do is it would take a little nibble of carrot and would always go back to the same spot and eat it. And I thought, I wonder why it always goes to the same spot. Then I realized, you know what? That spot is probably slightly warmer than anywhere else, and that's where it likes to sit down. So I checked my thermometer. What's the temperature anyway? Well, it was minus 27 at that moment. That's pretty cold. Mind you, it does get colder. I think our record is something like minus 45 or something. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Now, a little later, my neighbor comes by with a snowblower, and the rabbit was not too pleased, as you can imagine. Good news, however, I have since put out fresh carrots, and the rabbits are once again happy. Probably an hour or so has passed now, and I'm pretty sure this is safe enough to work with. And we almost have, now we have enough pieces here to assemble number one. One of the viewers, speaking of ones, mentioned that if I was to glue these pieces on, it could well be that they have to be manipulated a little bit up and down to get them to get the cover to fit on, and that makes a lot of sense. It seems to me I was actually wondering about that myself a couple of days ago. Anyway, I'm not going to glue these on. Well, let's just see if we can get one of these together now. I'm just going to give myself more room here. And we'll take a close look later. Okay, I think this should fit in something like this. Work it up and down a little bit. Don't want to be breaking anything. Maybe what I'm going to have to do is put on my strong glasses and hold this up by my face where I can see what I'm doing here. And then we'll look at it after. Looks pretty realistic from here. All right, let's try not to scratch too much of the paint. In fact, let's try not to scratch any of the paint off of the barrels when we try to get this in. Now, this is actually the first time I'm doing this. I don't want to be forcing anything. It just doesn't seem to want to go too good there. Now, are those breeches supposed to be more squeezed together? I think that's the way it's supposed to go, and then this should just kind kind of pop in, I think. I'm starting to put a little bit of pressure on it there. It appears to be the way it's supposed to go. Then I guess you make those barrels horizontal afterwards. I was kind of worried about the guns falling off of the pivot points, but I can see now that that would be impossible. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much the way it's supposed to go. Probably my fingers are blocking your view here and you can't see what's happening. Just try and get that down a little bit. Yeah. Okay, now if I was to put some extra thin in there and just hold it for a minute, then I think we can probably adjust everything afterwards. Okay. That will be the plan. And then we'll put these little guys on the sides after. Okay, change in plans here. I'm kind of concerned that if I do use the extra thin, it's going to sort of run around all over the place and make a mess of the paint job. And the two-tone gray here is going to blend together. I'm just thinking that perhaps I might be better off just putting a little bit of CA medium along the side and then pressing them together. It almost wants to stay together just by a friction fit here. It's very tight. I'm still concerned about the fact that possibly I don't have these gun barrels together. And also I was disappointed in that I don't see that photo etch piece which represents that gear to elevate the barrels up and down. But then when I was manipulating it around, I can see it like this. You should be able to see it there too. It doesn't show up real well, but I suppose if a person was to be looking in the back here on the model, depending on which way the guns were rotated, if you know what I mean, you'd be able to see that little piece of detail that we went to a lot of work to put on. Otherwise, those photo etch pieces are completely hidden from the top. Anyway. Okay, let's try not to glue it to my fingers here. Not the best fit, but it's a fit nonetheless. Get our barrels the same elevation here. I don't think it matters if they're a little bit up or down, as long as they're both the same, I would think. However, on the obviously on the real thing, they were designed so that they could be moved independently. Okay. Enough poking around here. Let's just wait a minute or two and then we'll try and get these on. Now I am noticing what appears to be possibly glue or something on the side of the turret right there. Might have to repaint that. And once again, this is going to be the first time we're trying this here. Just want to make sure it's going to fit. wondering if I should fasten this little piece down on the blue tack. And it won't be moving around on me. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. The blue tack shouldn't hurt that paint. Okay, let's try this again. Is this going to fit? Oh, I'm going to have to pull the heat shrink down. The tweezer is exposed and it's going to be scratching. Okay, I do believe it's in the right spot. Maybe that's too much. I might have to take a brush and touch it up afterwards. This is the first one, and I hope the remaining 7 go a little better. I think I got them on the right angle. Yeah, it looks good to me anyway. I was thinking to myself as I put the rest of these together that Murphy's Law probably was in play again, because whenever I've got the record pressed, things do not go too well. And I was thinking how well the remaining 7 of these went together. So then I started putting these on. And I just started I guess it'd be the 6th one. And I'm thinking to myself, why is it that the long part is covering the door? And then this terrible fear went through me. I've been putting them on the wrong way. It should be pointing out towards the back here, not towards the front. So I've broken them off, and as you can see here, there is places that I'm going to have to touch up. Some of them are pretty good. They didn't. The paint stayed on all right, but this one is pretty bad. I don't know if I'm going to have to touch that up or not. I'll check it out. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I think that's enough for today. So thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll be back tomorrow.